Hey, this is Jürgen Rasmussen. Welcome to the Provocative Hypnosis vlog. I'd like to talk a little bit about why I don't help clients solve problems for the most part. I've noticed over the years that in addition to the horrible mental illness frame, as in let's treat your mental illness, don't use that frame when helping people change. It's not very useful, nor is it accurate. Another frame that's very common is let's solve your problem. And I think this one very often backfires because what people actually experience when they come in to see you are thoughts. And you can't solve thoughts because they're non events. Per definition, they're not happening. So trying to solve thoughts with more thinking usually leads to rumination and excessive worry and a life of being stuck in one's head. Um, Let me illustrate what I mean here. Last summer, I was home alone and I was making Indian food in the middle of the night, papadums at very high heat. And the kitchen kind of took on fire a little bit, and I was able to throw the frying pan, into the water and sort of stuff. Nothing much that happened. The fire alarm went off, and what I had forgotten is that if you don't contact the security company, they automatically contact the fire department. So like 15 minutes later, the fire truck was on top of the hill where I live. They were out there with their hoses, and I had to run out there in my bathing shorts and singlet saying, no, 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 no. It's just me making Indian food in the middle of the night. You guys hungry? Can I offer you guys anything? And thankfully I wasn't fined. First time offender with the fire department. Now a couple of hours later, as I was going to bed, the fire thought emerged. What if the kids were home? What if I hadn't been able to spot it in time? And when that thought occurred, it was just seen as a thought. There was just this, not happening response. So it dissolved, disappeared, and I went to sleep. That's your client. So the point being that no one ever calls you as an agent of change, coach, or therapist while they are trying to put out a fire. It just doesn't happen. They may have been in a fire and now they seem to be reliving that fire, or they may have a fire extinguishing thing and have a plan for how to evacuate the house, but they're stuck in all this future projection thinking of, what if the house gets caught on fire? These are thoughts. These are not solvable. They're non-events. So what's wisdom in one context is just reinforcing an illusion in the other context, meaning if your kitchen is actually on fire, there's something to solve. There's something to do. You try to put it out. You contact the fire department. You use your extinguisher or you evacuate the house. There's something to do. Not doing anything would be complete denial and most likely lead to a catastrophe. But if the fire thought emerges and you get lost in rumination and worry in these fantasies, trying to solve that is just reinforcing an illusion. The exact illusion that leads you to being stuck in these constant thought loops to begin with. So what's wisdom in one context, solving the actual fire, is the opposite when it comes to dealing with thoughts and feelings. I sometimes joke with clients and say, look, if I could print a t-shirt for you, it would say, you can't solve a feeling. You can't solve a thought. You can't think your way out of overthinking. because you're just adding more thinking to begin with. So a lot of the rumination and the excessive worry and threat monitoring that keeps people in fight or flight, and that leads to them depressing and anxietizing and doing all these sorts of things, is the results of not seeing thoughts as thoughts to begin with. There's less something to do. There's more about cultivating a different relationship to your inner experience, and to learning to truly see thoughts as thoughts and feelings as feelings, and to break that link of automatic identification. I've sometimes joked at seminars and said, look, I've never had the phone call where someone says, ha, panting, breathing heavily and saying, are you that hypnotist, NLP, psychological illusion model guy? And me going, yeah. Well, someone's chasing me with a knife. They got me cornered. They're going to stab me in a few seconds. How do I spin that feeling? You're never going to get that phone call. Well, I probably will at sometimes as a prank, because I've used that example. But what you might get is the person who goes, look, when I leave my house, I'm so scared of being attacked. Or I was attacked once 10 years ago, and I'm reliving that, and it's completely messing up my life. Now, you could do a practical self-defense training in terms of weapons, and learn more about awareness and predator-prey interactions. And there are practical things to do around that, but trying to solve the thoughts, the non-events, is just reinforcing an illusion. So the let's solve your problem frame is a great one for a leaky sink or a flat tire or anything mechanical with some sort of cause and effect thing, where you can talk about tools and techniques. But this sort of like very mechanical left hemisphere engineering mindset is, for the most part, I think, not a very useful one when it comes to dealing with our own subjective experience, even though at times helping someone troubleshoot something may be useful. And there's nothing wrong with planning or reflecting or critical thinking skills. So one typical technique might be to schedule 10 minutes a day for problem solving and troubleshooting and planning and reflecting and looking at things. But that's likely more than enough. Getting lost in worry and rumination is of absolutely no use whatsoever. And here, the whole problem-solving frame does way more harm than good. I'm doing a seminar, by the way, live seminar, Psychological Illusion Model 2.0, where I teach how people can see through the illusory nature of their experience and to see through the illusion of a permanent, stable self that the thoughts and feelings seem to refer to. This is how I work with clients. So I'm teaching in Iceland, January 14th and 15th, 2023. If you're curious, if you like my way of thinking, if you'd like to get better results with your clients, I hope to see you there. You can go to provocativehypnosis.com, check the seminar link, and you'll get a link to the seminar. Also know that I make my living seeing clients. I see clients all day. It's been my profession for the last 25 years. I'm not some YouTuber or some guy who's just mouthing off. This is actually what I do for a living. So if my thinking resonates and you have problems with fears or angers or compulsions or jealousies or chronic pain or what have you, and you'd like to have a look at how I might help you to relate to your experience differently, you can reach me at provocativehypnosis.com. I hope this was useful. Thanks for listening.